Welcome back to DG Tutorials. Today we're diving into a crucial topic that affects everyone: inflation and how it impacts your finances. You hear it everywhere, but what exactly is inflation? In the simplest terms, it's when things get more expensive and your dollar doesn't go as far. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned investor, understanding inflation is crucial for making smart financial decisions and keeping your hard-earned money safe. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly what inflation is, how it affects you, and the most important steps you can take to protect yourself. Let's talk about the sneaky way inflation eats away at your money purchasing power. Think about it this way. Back in the day, $1 could get you a burger and fries. Now you're lucky if it gets you a cup of coffee. That's inflation in action. The scary part is that it happens gradually, so you might not even notice it at first. One day you're buying groceries without a second thought, and the next, you're doing mental gymnastics at the checkout counter, wondering if you really need that extra bag of chips. Alright, let's talk about your savings. You're diligently putting money aside every month, which is amazing. But here's the catch. If your savings aren't growing at a rate that beats inflation, they're actually losing value over time. It's like leaving a plate of cookies out on the counter. Sure, they might look tempting at first, but leave them there long enough and they'll go stale. The same goes for your savings with inflation. You need to make sure they're fresh and growing faster than inflation is eating away at them. Let's talk about the cost of living. Remember those carefree days when gas was cheap, rent was manageable, and a trip to the grocery store didn't require taking out a small loan? Yeah, those days might feel long gone, and a big part of that is due to inflation. It's like a never-ending game of catch-up. Just when you think you've adjusted to higher prices, boom, they go up again. Let's be real, getting a raise is a great feeling, but here's the kicker. If your income isn't keeping pace with inflation, it's like running on a treadmill. You're putting in the effort, but you're not actually getting anywhere. This is called wage stagnation, and it's a huge problem. It means that even if you're working the same hours and doing the same job, your money just doesn't stretch as far as it used to. Now, let's talk about investments. Inflation can be a real pain when it comes to your investment returns. See, when inflation is high, companies often have to raise prices to maintain their profits. But here's the catch. If consumers aren't willing to pay those higher prices, companies might see their profits shrink, and that can directly impact your investments. It's a delicate dance, and it's important to choose your investments wisely in times of inflation. Let's talk about a group that's particularly vulnerable to inflation: people on fixed incomes. We're talking about retirees, folks living on pensions, or anyone whose income doesn't change much from year to year. For these individuals, inflation can be devastating. Imagine relying on a fixed amount of money each month when prices for everyday necessities are constantly increasing. It's a recipe for financial stress and hardship. Now let's talk about how inflation affects those hit hardest: low-income earners. When prices for essentials like food, rent, and transportation skyrocket, it's those already struggling to make ends meet who bear the brunt of the impact. Imagine having to choose between putting food on the table or keeping a roof over your head. That's the harsh reality for many facing the double whammy of low income and high inflation. Chapter 8: Outsmarting Inflation, Investing for a Brighter Future. Alright, enough with the doom and gloom. Let's talk about how to fight back against inflation and protect your hard-earned money. One of the best ways to do this is by investing in assets that tend to outpace inflation over time. Think of it like this. Inflation is like a thief slowly chipping away at your money, but smart investments are like a pack of guard dogs protecting your wealth. Chapter 9: Mastering Your Money, Smart Spending Habits in an Inflationary World. Now let's talk about spending habits. Remember, every dollar counts, especially when inflation is on the rise. It's time to become a master of your money and make those dollars stretch further. This doesn't mean you have to live a life of deprivation, but it does mean being mindful of your spending and making conscious choices about where your money goes. Chapter 10: Know Your Worth. Negotiating raises and staying ahead of the curve. Let's talk about your income. In a perfect world, your salary would magically increase with inflation. But let's be real, that's rarely the case. That's why it's crucial to advocate for yourself and negotiate those raises like a boss. Remember, your skills and experience are valuable, and you deserve to be compensated fairly, especially in an environment where the cost of living is constantly going up. Outro: inflation-proof your finances. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more financial tips and insights. Remember, inflation is a fact of life, but it doesn't have to control your finances. By understanding how inflation works and taking proactive steps to protect your money, you can navigate these challenging economic times with confidence. See you next time.